See, this is the part, if that was anybody else besides some cop over there. See, when people have issues with police and say, oh, they don't treat these people right. They don't treat these people right. They're high on their hog, however you want to put it. Sometimes I go, I think you're beating these guys up too much. These guys are out there day in and day out, putting their lives on the line to protect us. So I tend to really stick up for them. I've had friends that are police officers. My daughter went to State Patrol Youth Academy and absolutely loved it. She'll probably end up in law enforcement in some sorts. But my God, it's things like this that I start going, okay, you know what? They must profile. They must do all this stuff that I'd like to believe they don't do. Because who in their right mind over in Aurora would do this? Who would not charge him with a DUI if they have the blood alcohol? Who would not fire him? Now, what happens when this clown pulls somebody over? I mean, can you imagine this? Explaining to the judge, so now he's a witness against you or somebody, but yet he didn't get in trouble.
It says here, no felony was committed and a blood draw could not be forced. But remember that news anchor that was...
No, but none of that matters, and I'd love to have Joe Lazare or somebody because of this. It doesn't matter if you have a blood alcohol or not. That's only one thing in the case. That's only one thing. If they have video of you passed out in your car while it's running, that's a hell of a good piece of evidence to bring into court. The blood alcohol is not the only thing. Cops everywhere, DAs everywhere go after people that refuse breathalyzers, and they still get convictions on DUIs. It does happen. I don't get this. And this is the same county. Now, I don't want to blame Arapahoe County, but this is the same. Actually, is Brockler part of Arapahoe? Suzanne? Oh, she's on the phone. Is he? Is Brockler part of Arapahoe?
Yes, he is.
I would love to see if we can get George Brockler on. Absolutely would love to see. Because if the captain of Aurora Police doesn't want to press charges, why is our DA not? And I've got to say something. I like George Brockler. When it comes to consumer crime, unlike most people, he does a hell of a good job. A hell of a good job. But I would like to know why the DA isn't stepping in that county. I think that's a very fair question for Brockler's office. A very fair question.
Well, it says here that he took immediate responsibility for his actions.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was drunk as hell on duty in my police car with a gun. Whoops, I'm sorry. Please don't fire me.
And has shown tremendous dedication in addressing his actions.
Enormous dedication. Just remember, if you live in Aurora, this is the guy. If you ever call the cops and they never show up and you think they're out eating donuts, well, guess what? Apparently in Aurora, it's not donuts. Apparently in Aurora, they're out at the bar. They're at these breakfast bars, I call them. We live in Franktown, the Stagecoach out there. We've stopped in there and had a beer. Hell, they've got good pizza and wings, to be honest. But what blows me away is when you walk in the Stagecoach, they have breakfast specials that start at 7:30 in the morning. A pitcher of beer and a burrito for $4. Wow. That's probably where the Aurora cops hang out. Can you believe it? Forget the donut shop. Dan, you read the article too. What do you make of it? Honest to God, just give me it, and I promise I'll get off this and I'll go to the phones.
They're following basically legality, I think, on two things. One, they didn't take the blood test within 2 hours. And the other thing is the cops didn't take it there. The hospital did. And if you remember that one lady and stuff that the insurance wasn't going to cover because she was drinking?
Yes.
But it was at the hospital that took the blood test and not the cops took the blood test?
Yep.
That's what they're falling under.
That's fine, but you don't have to have a blood test in order to convict on a DUI.
That's right.
Did this guy admit that he was drunk? Daphne just read something
saying...
He
gave up his hospital report to him.
Okay, well, what does it say about him real quick? Does it say you basically said he came clean?
Yes, I can't find it really quick.
And then even if they don't go after him legally, which I'd still like to hear from Brockler's office on, the DA of the Arapahoe, they can still fire his ass. Who wants this guy there? Just none of it makes any sense to me. Absolutely none of it. They're basically telling everybody in Colorado, we treat our own differently than we treat anybody else.
It says here he immediately admitted to his actions and the poor choices he made that day.
Oh, okay. 5 times the legal limit.
In a cop car with it running in gear.
He's
outrageous.
In uniform in an unmarked APD.
It's hard to believe some idiot in Aurora actually didn't fire him. I don't get it. Or suspend him. Maybe the union, you can't fire him instantly, but you can suspend him. What did they do? They demoted him.
Well, look at Pat Sullivan got 17 days in jail for pedophilia and selling meth.
That's right. I forgot Arapahoe County. In fact, Pat Sullivan, his name, actually, Martino broke that story. Literally broke that story undercover. I mean, that was incredible. But you're right. Here's the guy whose name was actually on the prison, right, or on the jail, Pat Sullivan. And he ended up in his own jail. Welcome to Arapahoe. Unbelievable.
Mark, it's already on the news that Brockler's office is looking into investigating this police officer. So I don't think there's any reason to reach out.
Okay, fair enough. Thank God you just read that, because Brockler is a straight shooter. He does need to look into this, and I hope he does. All right. Let's see here. Well, actually, real quick, Mike, you got a comment on that. Go ahead.
Yeah, a few things, Mark. Watched Brian Moss last night, and if you can believe Brian Moss and George Brockler did not know about this until Brian Moss reached out to him, and he's going after it like stink on feces.
He needs to, man. I'll tell you what, my daughter did this. She did that State Patrol Youth Academy. She's 17. But over the last summer, she was in Brockler's office as a, a paid intern. And then she was back in his office recently once a week for this kind of, this kind of police academy. So she's met George numerous times. We've had him on the show numerous times, and he solved a lot of problems. I think George will take care of this. I really do, and I hope he does. Thank you, Mike. I hope so. I mean, this is crazy. There's a lot of people upset about this DUI thing. I got some comments we'll go through. I got to finish up with Bryce and that apartment complex, but I was just looking at something. The guys at Renew Home Innovations, they're kind of the Kohler guys, if you will. They do the Kohler choreograph, and they do these just absolutely beautiful, beautiful, beautiful bathrooms. You know, their designers will bring out these high-tech imagery tools. They'll show you how everything's going to look when it's done. If you really want that bathroom, that master bathroom of your dreams, I implore you, call Renew Home Innovations. Free estimates, of course. They also have discounts for active military and senior citizens. Everything is custom fit to your house. Just beautiful, beautiful stuff at a very, very good price. 303-904-2000. The other thing I like about them is they kind of have a good, better, best. If you are on a budget, they've got great different options. And then if you just want the most beautiful thing in the world, they can do whatever you want. Renew Home Innovations, 303-904-2000. And, of course, they're always on a referral list, or referrallist.com. Bryce, let me finish up with you. So you rented this place. You knew air conditioning wasn't included, but the dryer itself, when you dry, doesn't even vent outside, so you get hot air into the apartment. Where else? What else do we have going on with this apartment?
Yes, sir. Tenants, whenever they move out, the tenants will just throw all their stuff out in front of the apartment buildings, and the management will let it just sit there for days and days and days before anything gets picked up. And now what they throw out there includes like mattresses, couches, box springs, bedside tables, their plates and stuff. They just throw it out there, and glass is broken all over the parking lot. And they'll just let that sit there for days like it's not a big deal, like we're not forking over money hand over fist to look at all this garbage in the parking lot. And we left and went home for Thanksgiving vacation last week. We got back on like the 5th, I think. Got back, and water was all in the floor of the back bedroom of our apartment. So we told them about it. They come in and we're fixing it and whatnot. Well, this just goes to show the type of work ethic they got. The carpet, they pulled the pad out, replaced the pad, whatever, all that stuff. They didn't replace the crown molding, which has water marks, water stains, all from the closet to the opposite end of the room. And they pulled the carpet up, and they just left the carpet pulled out, didn't tuck it back up under the anything. I mean, they just got where you can literally lift the carpet up with your hand and look at the stuff underneath it.
It sounds just horrible. How long is your lease? I mean, what's your ultimate goal?
No, I've been trying to get my buddy to either find himself a new place, because I'm trying to move out of there. I mean, we're giving them all this money, crazy amounts of money, to feel like we're living in a slum. I mean,
how long is your how long is your
how long is your
lease?
I believe it was at 1 year. We're right at like 6 months.
And you got bed bugs there too, right? I got a movie going on.
Yeah, we had
what do you mean?
We had bed bugs. The people, like I was saying, the people that moved out and left all their stuff out in front of our apartment building. Me and my buddy was walking out to go get something to eat one day, and we looked. I thought at the time it was roaches. I mean, but it wasn't. It was bed bugs, and the leasing agent of
Dan, I'm sorry, hold on. Dan, is the bed bug video up on our Facebook? And what do you think of it? I'm not looking at it. Is it pretty bad? Well, it looks like bugs in the mattress. Do you think he could do a constructive eviction if he wanted to? I mean, is it that bad? If you want to
get out, this place is really bad. Out. This looks like a ghetto.
So here's the deal, though, Bryce. There's nothing we can do. I mean, we can call over there and say, what the hell's wrong with you, you slumlord? And we can do stuff like that, but honestly, we can't force him, nor can anybody force him to do much. But you can probably get out of the lease if you do it properly.
That's what I've been trying to figure out how to do it properly. I called
here's what you do.
Health department.
Here's what you do. Yeah, you see that kind of stuff still doesn't matter. They're not going to do a constructive eviction for you. I want you to Google the word constructive eviction. And there's self-help guides out there, but basically if it's so bad and you're trapped in a lease, there's different steps you do, and we don't give legal advice out on this show, but we give good everyday advice that we have dealt with numerous times. You want to do what's called a constructive eviction, and if you follow it, it's really not going to cost you any money. Then you're going to be able to move somewhere else, and you're not going to owe these clowns any money whatsoever, and you'll be able to break the lease legally.
Yes, sir.
So that's all you have to do. I wish I could tell you, because here's how these calls generally go, is, we want the landlord to fix this. We want the landlord to do this and get rid of the bugs. Well, we can't force them. No one can force them. For that matter, the health department can't force them. They might shut them down if it's egregious, but generally no one can force someone to spend money on anything, because a lot of people don't have money. It sounds like you found yourself in a true a slummy place. I mean, there's no other way to put it. All right, we have another hour coming up. Don't forget, check us out on Facebook right now. Go to Facebook and look for Referral List. It'll say Tom Martino's Referral List. Check us out at referrallist.com. We're going to give some updates. Eva, Jorge, Mohammed, you guys hang on. My name's Mark Major, and you're on the
This is the Troubleshooter Show.
Help, I need somebody.
Now, Tom Martino, the Troubleshooter.
Welcome to the show, the only show of its kind. We're here to help you out. We're here to solve your problems, answer your questions, take your complaints. Tommy Boy started this show, the only show of its kind. That's true. Look around. I dare you, look around and find something else where if you have a problem and you can't afford an attorney, or even if you can, it's not worth hiring an attorney over, find another program that'll get directly involved. I'd love to hear about it, because I don't think there's another one in the entire universe. If you have an issue, you pick up the phone and you call us. 303-713-8255, 303-MARTINO. That works on and off the air. When we're sitting here, that simply forwards to the 303-713-8255. When we're off the air, it goes to our voicemails. You can leave us a message. We'll call you back. We'll help you out. And by the way, email help@troubleshooter.com. That's another way to get questions answered. And then, of course, referrallist.com, a list of great businesses. What makes Referral List different than everybody else is very simple. We actually monitor it. If there's an issue with one of our members, guess what? You can call us up on the air. It doesn't matter. It does not matter if they're on the list or not.
Accountability.
It is accountability. And they have signed what we refer to as our strict code of ethics. If we do have to step in and they don't do the right thing, we can actually somewhat force them legally. Now, of course, if they go into bankruptcy or other things like that, there's not